They used to say I was lucky, but luck doesn't keep you healthy for 40 years. Habits do. At 94, I still drive myself. I still walk without pain. I haven't caught so much as a cold in 4 decades. And while some people smile and say, "You must have good genes," I quietly shake my head, because what they don't see is what I do every single day. The truth is, aging doesn't suddenly steal your health. It wears it down slowly through the daily choices we stop making. The missed movement, the shallow breath, the moment we stop believing our bodies can still improve. But just as strength fades through neglect, it can return through consistency. That's what I've learned, not in a lab or from a textbook, but from living. Doctors once told me to slow down. I chose to listen, to tune in. And over time, I discovered 5 simple exercises that became the foundation of my vitality. Not intense workouts, but intentional movements that restored strength, focus, balance, and calm. They don't require a gym or youth, just commitment. And if you're willing to give your body the same quiet care that you once gave your children, these habits can change everything. So let me show you the 5 exercises that have kept me strong, sharp, and sickness-free. Not just in theory, but in the reality of a life well lived. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend hitting that button and turning on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. 1. The Spine Awakening Ritual. A 3-minute morning reset that reverses age from the inside out. Most people think illness comes from germs or genetics. But after living 94 years with no major illness and not even a cold in 4 decades, I can tell you true health begins the moment you wake up. That's why before my feet ever touch the floor, I give my body one essential message. You're alive, and I need you. Every morning, I lie flat on my back, eyes still closed, and begin a short sequence that changed everything. I slowly turn my head left and right, not to stretch, but to gently activate the nerves along my neck. I bring my knees toward my chest, softly hug them, and rock from side to side like I'm cradling my own spine. Then I release and let my back settle into the mattress. More aligned, more awake. No rush, no harsh movements, just attention. This may sound simple, even trivial, but this 3-minute ritual rewires how your nervous system responds to the day. Most seniors leap from bed with tight backs, stiff joints, and sluggish blood flow. They push themselves upright with sheer force, triggering sudden spikes in blood pressure and disorientation. That's why so many falls and strokes happen in the first hour after waking. But when you wake your spine with care, you give your entire body time to remember how to live well. You see, the spine is more than just a column of bones. It is the central highway for every nerve in your body. If it's sluggish, everything is. Your balance, your digestion, your thinking, they all flow downstream from that morning moment. And the older we get, the more our spine craves rhythm over force, attention over speed. That's why I've done this gentle sequence every day since I was 54. It's not just a habit, it's a ceremony. Science backs this up, too. A study published in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy found that seniors who engage in morning spinal mobilization report fewer falls, improved posture, greater mental clarity throughout the day. But numbers aside, what matters is how it makes you feel. Lighter, looser, more connected to your own body. I used to wake up stiff, dreading the moment my feet hit the floor. Now, I welcome the day with calm presence. This ritual doesn't require strength or flexibility. It requires intention. And in a world that rushes us toward productivity, choosing presence is the first act of healing. The truth is, you can't build a strong body on a weak foundation. And your spine is the foundation of every move, every breath, every sense of aliveness. So why not start the day by honoring it? Now, if you're wondering what comes after this sacred 3-minute ritual, what else I do to stay sharp, strong, and sickness-free well into my 90s, let me show you something even more surprising. It involves nothing more than a kitchen chair, and it might just save you from your next fall. If you're still watching and finding these insights helpful, please comment number 1 below to let me know you're with me. Now let's move on to point number 2, a practice that quietly transformed my strength right in the heart of my home. 2. The garden stool routine. This simple daily ritual brought my strength back without me ever having to leave my sunlit kitchen nook. For years, I believed strength came only from effort, sweat, and pushing my body hard. But after turning 62, I noticed a subtle shift. My body no longer responded to intensity. It responded to consistency. And I found this truth revealed most clearly through an object we all overlook: a humble garden stool. As I grew older, I became aware of something deeply unsettling. I was losing my ability to rise, not just physically from the floor, but from the rhythm of my own daily life. Standing up from a chair demanded more effort. Reaching for a spice jar sent sharp twinges through my shoulder. My legs, once pillars of steadiness, began to tremble beneath me. This wasn't illness, it was erosion strength slipping away in tiny, unnoticed fragments. Then came the day I almost lost my balance, reaching for a teapot. A jarring wake-up call that something had to change. So, I began a small morning ritual. Sitting firmly on my garden stool, I planted my feet on the floor and slowly lifted one leg at a time, holding it gently for a few seconds before lowering it back down. At first, even lifting my leg a few inches felt like a monumental effort. But I persisted, not training to be an athlete, but reclaiming the dignity of simple movement. Once my legs awakened, I turned to my arms, raising them slowly and deliberately straight in front of me. 10 gentle lifts, no weights, no rush, just breath, awareness, and presence in motion. This brief practice, less than 5 minutes long, began to deliver results no medication ever had. Within weeks, I rose from bed more easily, stopped clutching walls for balance, and carried groceries without fear. But above all, I felt capable again. There's something profoundly spiritual about learning to trust your body once more. That stool became more than a seat. It became a sanctuary for independence. Medical experts call this functional movement, exercises designed to mimic everyday tasks and keep the nervous system sharp. Indeed, research published in the Journal of Aging and Health shows that seniors who practice regular seated leg and arm raises strengthen their lower limbs and reduce fall risk by over 30%. But I don't need studies to confirm what I live daily. The beauty of this routine is its accessibility. Whether you're recovering from surgery, managing arthritis, or simply feeling the quiet weight of passing years, you don't need to stand or own fancy equipment. All you need is a chair, steady breath, and the courage to begin. Here's the key. Our bodies don't crave punishment. They crave gentle reminders. Every lift from that stool whispers to your muscles, you still matter. Every slow arm raise signals to your brain, we are still moving. We are still alive. And if you believe a simple stool can restore your strength, wait until you discover the power of your own breath. This leads us naturally to the third practice I uncovered, the most powerful medicine I never had to buy. 3. The 400 dirhams. breath, a simple yet profound breathing rhythm that strengthens the immune system and calms the storms within. It took decades for me to realize that breath, not medication, not muscle, was the most potent healer I possessed. Had someone told me years ago that breathing in a specific pattern could lower blood pressure, sharpen focus, and help prevent illness altogether, I might have smiled politely and forgotten about it. But life has a way of humbling us. When I reached 69, I began to experience a heavy fatigue, not the usual tiredness from work or sleepless nights, but a deeper fog clouding my mind, slowing my digestion and stirring irritability. Doctors reassured me that tests were normal, but something inside told me otherwise. That's when I discovered the 478 breath technique. It seemed almost too simple. Breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 7, breathe out for 8. No pills, no gadgets, no cost. Just breath. I practiced quietly, sitting on the edge of my bed, eyes closed, inhaling deeply through my nose for 4 counts, holding gently for 7, then exhaling slowly through pursed lips for 8 seconds. A sigh I had held inside for years. Repeated over and over, something remarkable happened. My heart slowed, my chest softened, shoulders, usually tense without my awareness, relaxed. Most surprisingly, my racing thoughts quieted. For the first time in weeks, I found stillness, and that stillness became my medicine. I made the 478 breath a daily ritual, 4 rounds morning and night. Gradually, I slept more deeply, digested better, and strengthened an immune system that became nearly untouchable. Even through harsh flu seasons and long winters, I remained resilient. I realized that my body wasn't just surviving. It was healing from the inside out. Science explains it clearly. The 478 breath activates the parasympathetic nervous system, responsible for rest, digestion, and repair. It signals your body, you are safe now. When your body feels safe, it shifts from defense to growth. Cortisol lowers, hormones balance. Oxygen flows freely to vital organs. Resilience replaces reactivity. But for me, this was more than biology. Breath became the bridge between my thoughts and my health, between the burdens of aging and the grace of presence. Each exhale released fear. Each inhale whispered a quiet affirmation. I am here. I am strong. Breathing is no longer automatic. It is intentional. One of the few acts that can reshape the rhythm of the entire body through awareness alone. I never imagined healing could be so quiet, so gentle, and so close at hand. And if the breath alone can shift your health so profoundly, imagine what a simple daily walk can do, not just for your body, but for your entire sense of purpose. That, my friend, is where we go next. If you're still here and finding these insights meaningful, please type number 1 in the comments below to let me know you're with me. Now, let's continue with point number 4, a practice that quietly transformed my entire relationship with time, strength, and spirit. 4. Walking as medicine. This simple 15-minute ritual became the cornerstone that restored not only my physical strength, but also my emotional clarity and sense of presence. There was a time, years ago, when I thought walking was merely a way to get from one place to another. Nothing more than a necessary transition, not real exercise, certainly not something important. But as I approached my 67th birthday, that belief began to unravel. Suddenly, I felt a heaviness that wasn't just physical. It settled deep within my heart. My legs ached with increasing frequency, my thoughts tangled and slowed. And although the days stretched long, they felt smaller somehow, as if I was shrinking inside them, rather than growing through them. That was when I returned to something so simple it almost felt too humble to matter. Walking. But this wasn't walking on a treadmill or listening to music through headphones. It was walking outside alone, with nothing but the sound of my footsteps, the rhythm of my breath, and the quiet presence of the world around me. At first, I could manage only 5 minutes, a single loop around my neighborhood. My knees protested, my back resisted, yet I persisted. And day by day, those 5 minutes grew to 10 and then to 15. But I wasn't walking to burn calories or chase youth. What I was reclaiming was something far more precious. My connection to my body, my place in the world, and my right to move through life with dignity. As the weeks passed, I noticed remarkable changes. My posture straightened. My steps became deliberate rather than shuffling. My digestion improved, and my mind cleared. The shadows of worry and fatigue that once trailed me began to lift in the warm light of those morning walks. I realized then I wasn't merely aging. I was awakening. Many underestimate the power of walking, believing that if it isn't intense, it isn't effective. Yet, for elders, the most profound movement honors the body rather than wearing it down. When you walk with mindful attention, feeling your breath flow naturally, your arms swing gently, placing each foot with care, you are doing more than moving muscles. You're resetting your nervous system, encouraging lymph flow, sending oxygen-rich blood to your brain. You're telling your whole being, I am here and I am not finished yet. Science now confirms what our ancestors have known intuitively for centuries. Research published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine shows that just 20 minutes of walking daily can reduce inflammatory markers significantly in older adults. Another study from Stanford highlights how walking outdoors boosts creativity and cognitive clarity far more than sitting indoors. But beyond these studies, I know this truth personally. Every walk reconnects me to myself. Rain or shine, I never skip it, not because I'm strict, but because I've witnessed what happens when I do. Without it, I feel sluggish, foggy, drained. But after walking, I feel renewed, as if I've unlocked a hidden door within myself. And I always smile as I walk, not because happiness is guaranteed, but because smiling itself brings joy. That simple act alone helps lower blood pressure and soothes the vagus nerve, the quiet conductor of our health. So, if you've been feeling stuck physically, emotionally, or mentally, don't wait for the perfect moment or energy to appear. Open the door, place one foot forward, and let your body remember it was made to move. And once you've taken that first step, you'll need to nourish it well. Because what you eat after that walk may be the most important choice you make all day. Which brings us naturally to the next practice. 5. The hand-opening ritual. Small, quiet movements that preserve your independence and keep you connected to life's delicate details. A moment comes in aging that few prepare you for. Not when your knees ache or your hearing dulls, but when your hands begin to betray you. You reach for a jar, and your grip slips. You try to write, but your pen trembles. Buttoning a shirt turns into a frustrating task. This quiet moment carries a profound truth. Our hands, once the tools of precision and strength, are often the first to whisper, "You're slowing down." I first noticed this at 76, dropping my keys 3 times in a week, almost locking myself out. I told myself it was just clumsiness. But deep inside, I knew the truth. My hands and brain were no longer perfectly in sync. So I began a simple morning ritual, one so small it might seem trivial. Before touching a spoon or toothbrush, I would open my hands wide, stretching each finger like rays of sunlight. Then, slowly closing them into a firm fist, I held for 5 seconds before releasing. 10 repetitions. No weights, no gadgets. Just presence and intention. At first, it felt almost silly. Could such tiny movements make a difference? But by the second week, warmth returned to my fingers, a renewed flow of blood. My wedding ring no longer felt tight. My hands stopped cramping while carrying groceries. Most importantly, I felt capable again. Hands are more than limbs. They are extensions of our autonomy. They feed us, comfort us, hold the hands of those we love, create, express, and connect. When they weaken, it's not just a matter of function, it's a loss of identity. I never take my hands for granted now. Science affirms this too. A study in the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity found that hand-strengthening exercises reduce arthritis pain, improve grip stability, and enhance neurological communication in older adults. Grip strength itself predicts longevity and vitality. But even without data, I know this. My hands are lifelines. Keeping them strong is a sacred daily commitment. It requires only presence, 5 minutes each morning, to remind your fingers they still matter. This quiet strength is easy to dismiss but essential for independence. And within these silent, repetitive movements lies devotion, a respect for the body and a decision not to let age steal your agency. I continue this practice every day, not out of fear, but because I choose control. Because strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, "You still have time." If you've followed me through breath, walk, stool, spine, and now hands, you may be wondering what remains. What is the one final habit I practice each night that allows my body to repair, renew, and perhaps even turn back time while I sleep? That secret, dear friend, is coming next. Looking back over more than 9 decades of life, I, Samuel, have come to understand something I wish someone had shared with me in my youth. Aging is not the end of health. It is the beginning of a different kind of strength. A strength that doesn't depend on youth or speed, but flourishes through consistency, mindful attention, and kindness toward one's own body. The 5 practices I've shared with you, the gentle spine awakening, the simple garden stool routine, the 478 breath, the healing walk through my neighborhood park, and the morning mental tuning aren't flashy or designed for headlines. They won't earn medals or applause. Yet, they have given me something far more precious: independence, peace of mind, and a body I continue to trust. Here's a truth that many hesitate to admit. Health after 60 does not come from doing more, but from doing less with intention. You don't need to train like an athlete or eat like a monk. What matters is what you do every day, even if only for a few minutes. Health is not built in bursts. It is restored in quiet repetition. If you're reading this wondering whether it's too late, let me gently remind you. If you're still breathing, it is not too late. Not even close. Every breath is a new beginning. Every morning is an invitation. I didn't start these habits in my youth. Most began when I was in my 60s, when aches were real and life had already slowed. And that's exactly when it matters most. Of course, there will be days when your body resists and your mind wanders. That's perfectly okay. Do it anyway. Because the true reward isn't only physical, it's emotional, even spiritual. When you care for your body, you send it a message. It has longed to hear. You are still worth it. I haven't given up on you. That message changes everything. It makes you stand taller, breathe deeper, move with dignity. It makes you less afraid of the years ahead because you're no longer just aging, you're truly living. So here's my advice. From one long life to another. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect plan or special equipment. Just begin today. Roll your ankles gently before rising from bed. Sit tall in your chair and lift your legs with purpose. Breathe with rhythm. Walk with presence. Picture the kind of day and the kind of self you want to grow into. Remember, every single act of care you give your body is an act of defiance against decline. You are not a victim of age. You are the keeper of your own vitality. Take the next step. Begin again tomorrow. And know this, you're not just adding years to your life, you're adding life to your years. These lessons are meant to inspire you to live fully and authentically. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Take a moment to reflect and share one thing you've learned and plan to apply in your own life. Let's support each other on this journey of embracing these truths. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a comment with W1. If not, feel free to comment with 0. Your feedback means the world to us. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content like this. Thank you for watching. Here's to living life on your own terms.